Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home team of Keller Williams and Laura Gillette. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillette.com. And H&R Block of Albany, Corvallis, Lebanon, and Kaiser. For more information on your tax preparation needs, call 541-928-6432. Ta-da! Here we are, and I'm trying to do too many things in the middle of getting the show started. So, welcome to everybody. This is the Backstage Continued. The Experience Live with Russ and Scott Backstage Continued.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
All of a sudden, I realized I was doing a couple things, and I thought, oh, I got to put up the background and get Scott and I up on the screen. That would be a good start. So I am, you know what? It doesn't matter what's going on. This is how I feel every Wednesday when I'm with Scott. We have so many great guests, right, Scott?
Oh, the best of the best of the best.
I am just so excited. You know, we've had this pair on before. Yeah. We have Yani Gratsinopoulos, and if you can say that 3 times fast, you're amazing. And Dr. Alex Rosa is on with us today to grace us with her presence.
We didn't have Dr. Alex on before, but that's newly minted doctor.
Yes.
And so I feel privileged that we get to help celebrate, because that's a big accomplishment, a huge commitment.
Yes.
And I was listening to her on Carl Sean and
Charlene Brown.
Charlene's show, right? Yeah. And I was listening to her, just talking about her education, and it's really been continuous. She has a great story, and I think it's very inspirational for me as well as other people.
I am with you 100%. In fact, I was listening to that as well. And you know what I really loved that Alex said, and I'm not going to steal her thunder, but what I really loved about what she said is, through all the things in her life, how easy it would have been to give up, it would have been to give up and not continue and persevere. But she did. That's an amazing thing in itself. So before we jump into those amazing people, we want to remind you, Scott and I are here every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And don't forget, right before this, we're on Instagram with The Experience Backstage, live with Russ, Scott, and Shree. So go over there for a quick hitter where we're getting ready for everything. And sometimes it's a little to the experience today. And so, but we love to have you there. Scott, what's going on this week for you?
Oh, well, our sponsor, Laura Gillette, her team. Of course, we have H&R Block as a great sponsor, and Laura Gillette and her team as a sponsor. They're actually selling our house, and so we've been working with the team, with Randy and Michelle, and then Caitlin came by and did photographs. Everyone's so pleasant, so professional, making it so easy for us. and
Yes.
we're having our first realtor broker tour today, and
Oh,
so we'll
wow.
actually be packing up and throwing the dog in the van with us and headed out for the afternoon while the realtors come through.
That's
So
awesome.
that's a big thing in itself.
Yeah, no kidding. It is. Well,
Yeah.
excuse me adjusting and banging in the background while you're telling that great news, because it is. They are great, and I'm so happy for
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
because couldn't have a better group helping you. And, I was able to help my neighbor by connecting them with the Gillette Home team and working with them for her. She was an elderly neighbor. And Nicole with the Salem team came out. I'd called Laura on the phone. Laura says, I'm sending out Nicole. She was there same day. Boom, had it
Mhm.
on the market. And what was amazing about them, talk about perseverance, because it was a crazy market and there was a few issues with the house they had to overcome. They resold that house like 5 times. They sold it, it was going through, they backed out. They sold it, it was going through, the financing didn't happen. They sold it, it was going through, they
Wow.
backed out. I mean, it happened like 5 times, but the market, they just kept selling it, selling it, selling
Mhm.
it. So I accounted for like 5 sales all in one house. So there you go.
So yeah, it's great to be working with them, and I just want to say thank you to Randy and Michelle especially, and Caitlin, and for taking care of my family, and that's really what they're doing. They're
Right.
they're taking care of my family, and so
Well,
that's a big deal. But I do want to put a couple of plugs in, because, of course, at 9 a.m. over on LinkedIn, or you can go to agingbetternetwork.com. Christine will be talking about aspects of aging, and so I definitely want people to tune into that. This is the precursor to her book that'll be coming out later this year. It's a guided journal, and so people will want to take advantage of that. But get your preview. Go to agingbetternetwork.com, or Christine Smith is her link. Go to linkedin.com/in/Christine with a CH -- Smith. And then Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, it is the May 2020 edition of the virtual Global Tea Break International Networking.
right.
It's free. People can go to globalteabreak.com and register. We have people from around the world who come and join us. It's a fabulous place for networking, and we're gonna have Cami Hoysa from Houston. Zoetica Media is going to be talking about some social media strategies, and so you definitely want to tune in, because she's got the chops.
Oh, she does. Cami is amazing, and she's been on the show a couple times. That
Mhm.
is so great. Hey, I want to just drop in a couple quick things, then we're going to bring our guest in. First of all, I want to remind everybody, H&R Block, our other great sponsor, just because tax season is over, they are not done. They do bookkeeping and tax prep year round. So if you're looking for good
Mhm.
bookkeeping services, especially here in the Oregon area, but H&R Blocks all over the country do that.
Yeah,
And so information
it's
for
really
the one here in,
important as a self-employed person
yeah.
to make sure that you're paying your quarterlies, your estimates, whatever.
Right.
Get some professional help, because you don't want to be working with the IRS directly.
No, and they set me up so good. In fact, I just sent my quarterlies yesterday, and so it's yeah, we definitely love them. And also wanted to
Very
remind you,
patriotic of you.
yeah, besides a great day today, completely insane and busy with all that we've got going here, I
Mhm.
want to remind you that I have a workshop at noon. Successfully transform your business in 3 simple steps. Because of fabulous sponsors, I can offer that to you today for free. And Alex, one of our guests, will be on there at noon in the group as well. It's a great workshop. It's only an hour long. You can sign up. All the information will
Mhm.
magically appear in the comments. It's also all over social media, but you can just click on that in the comments. It'll take you right to the sign up. Put in the promo code FREE with a capital F. You'll get it for free. It's normally a $100 class, free
Mhm.
for you today. So I think that's it. Let's bring our guests in and get this started.
Yay!
Woo! Okay, so we're going to start ladies first. We always do. So bringing in the doctor. She's in the house first. Here she is. Dr.
What's
Alex.
up,
How's it
Doc?
going?
What's
Hi,
up,
hello,
Doc?
hello, familia. Hello.
It's so great to have you here, Alex. You know, you
Mm.
are almost a regular on our shows. And so we appreciate you. I was watching the other day all the shows going on, and I
Mhm.
was thinking, you know, of all the people that are really busy live streaming, we are so blessed to have so many of them on, and you are right at the top of that list.
Oh, thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. And I learn so much from watching both of you and being connected to you. So thank you. Thank you.
You bet. Well, you know
Yeah,
what? That's
please
what we do.
don't do this.
Yeah. What they just did, never do that again. Okay. Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
my
what.
wife's favorite saying. When something happens that I shouldn't have done, she looks at me and she goes, never do that again.
Well, Russ, you know that I've been receiving solicitations that people want me to be. They want me to model because they said we need a before model.
That's right. There you go. That's it. Well, Alex, listen, let's get into it. Tell everybody that doesn't know, which is not too many people because you're all over the place, who you are, what you're up to, and all your great accomplishments recently.
Oh, ay. So many, but yeah. So I'm Alexandria Rosa and Dr. Alexandria Rosa now. I graduated on May 7th with my doctorate of nursing practice and over 20 years going to school. Over 20 years. And so I did kind of share a little bit about my whole kind of pathway in healthcare. You know, I graduated from high school in 2000. I'm not afraid to say it. So I graduated in 2000 and I was actually a college dropout. I went to go to college. I was going to go to nursing and I did not make it. I ended up dropping out within the first couple months of my program. And after that, took me a little bit. And then about 2 years later, I started and got into being a nurse aide. And that's kind of where my whole journey in healthcare started. I started off as a nurse aide and then got my LPN. Then I got my associate's degree as a registered nurse, got my bachelor's degree. And then for my bachelor's, I went straight into my doctorate. And here I am today. So it's been 20 years. And all throughout that 20 years, you know, been working full time, 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, days, nights, going to school, raising kids. I've got 3 kids. I have a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and still with my high school sweetheart. And so, you know, I'm pretty much the expert in the whole work-life balance, following your dreams, getting it done, taking care of yourself. I've done all those things. And, you know, a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, Alex, you know, your life is so easy. And, you know, of course, you know, and it's like, no, you know, I have challenges just like every other person. I've had people die. I've had chronic illnesses. I've had family members with chronic illnesses. You know, kids get sick, spouses get sick. Life happens. Life does not stop, but it's how you roll with the punches. It's how you stay disciplined. It's how you stay motivated. It's all about self-leadership and self-worth, all those things that I love talking about. And so I'm very much into the holistic space. I put that holistic spin onto my nursing practice, into how I teach. I teach nursing students. So I do that. And then I have a holistic practice right now where I counsel clients on holistic treatments for what they might be going through and doing a lot of that transformational, like healing type work with them. So that's what I have going on now. And I'm very much passionate about brain body balance. There is a way to align all those things. And we can talk more about that later. And then I have spice. I always point the wrong way. I have spice. Spice is my way of my head to soul assessment that I created. So in nursing, we've got a head to toe. I created the head to soul. And it's really how I triage and assess people that come to me with, you know, some spiritual issues, some emotional issues, physical issues, all those things. How I triage, assess, we create a plan for action, some interventions, so we can have some really great outcomes, because that's what all of nursing is about, is getting great outcomes. And so the S is for the spiritual, the P is for the physical, the I is for insight, the C is for career, and the E is for emotion. And that's all those areas that I really focus on creating that brain body balance in.
Yeah, that what you're all about. I'm in complete alignment with the way you look at things, and I appreciate you so much. Today I'll give a little secret away because you and I think a lot alike. In my Successfully Transform workshop, the 3 successful steps. The first one, they're all about connection and community building. The first one is connect to self.
Yep.
And there's so many things within that, within what you're saying. You take it to a whole different level medically, but I just really appreciate that. And, speaking of people I appreciate, I want to get him in here right away before we get too far ahead because he is doing amazing things. Mr. Yani Gratsinopoulos is in the house.
Oh, look at that.
What's up, everybody?
Pretty soon, are we going to call you Dr.
Gerald.
Gratsinopoulos or Dr. Yani?
No, I am not that smart.
Oh,
Well, women are better than us guys. We have to admit it sometimes. So there you go. So Yani, it is so great to have you back. Talk about a great, great person to encourage and inspire your life and all the stuff you're doing. Do us a favor, give everybody a snapshot again, even though you've been on and most people will know who you are. Tell everybody who you are and what you're up to.
Who I am. Let's just start with my name. That right there, that disaster right there, is pronounced Yanni. Yeah, I know. It's so because some of you can't even hear past. Does that say Ioannis? No, it's actually Yanni. So now that we're through with that debacle,
Right.
and yes, I was named that on purpose, in case you're wondering. It's a common Greek name. I could go by an English name, but why? So Russ and I met through church. I'm ordained clergy. I've been clergy for, this is gonna sound crazy, almost 25 years.
Wow.
So I know, which is shocking to me that anybody would listen to me for more than 25 seconds, but they still are here. So fabulous. And early on in those days, I was traveling around speaking at different places, and these leaders, community leaders, civic leaders, pastors would come up to me and say, "Hey, okay, I heard what you were talking about. How do I implement that? How do I? Can we talk?" And so I just had these relationships, and these folks would call me, email me, and back then we didn't have this buzzword of coaching. I was just helping leaders. I was helping pastors, and when I got kind of dove into the business world, when I got pushed off the ledge into the business world about 10 years ago, and then dunked under, the divine providence, the Lord opened the door for me to start coaching again. And this time in the business world. And what I started to realize is the delta, the gap between the business world and the nonprofit world when it comes to leadership is nothing. Because leadership is leadership is leadership. And then realizing, it doesn't matter where you are, in your family, in your church, in your home, in your business, whether you're the owner or the janitor, everybody is accessing and driving leadership. And leadership is how you get promoted. Leadership is how you grow. Leadership is what you do to move the ball forward with whatever you're trying to move the ball forward with. I got stepped kind of back from that, and had some really good coaching on my end, coaches, people, mentors in my life that said, no, you need to go back. You need to get back into this coaching thing. And so now focused full-time on it. I'm in awe every day of watching people's lives change and realizing I'm affecting the lives of people I probably will never meet. And that is one of the most profound and exciting, fun things about leadership is as you lead, the ripple effect becomes a tidal wave.
And Yani, I love that because so many people think of leadership as a destination, but it really is just a tool. You just need, it's a skill. You can learn it. You can apply it, like learning how to write. It's just a skill. Any one of these tools but we need that, and we need to understand that it's not anything more than really just a tool or a skill set, but we're not going to learn it by not going to, as yourself, as a coach or some sort of training, something. We don't just wake up in the morning and go, oh, I'm now a leader.
And
Right.
every single person who does construction has a hammer in their tool bag. What is crazy to me is leadership is that type of tool, right? It's the hammer. Everybody, if you deal with nails, you got to have a hammer. And so many of us, we pick up the hammer that's there and we're like, oh, how come this nail won't go in? Well, first thing, it's a screw. And second thing, your hammer is the size of this finger. Get a giant framing hammer, start knocking stuff around, have the tools that you need. And so doctor, nurse, Alexandria, right? I will never amount, I don't think, to those level of tools. But the fact that she was able to, why? Because those are the tools that are needed for the route that she's on. And that's one thing that so many people don't take into account. Wait, stop for a moment. Where are you going? Ask that question first. And then what do you need to get there? Then go get those tools. That's why we have Lowe's and Home Depot.
Well, yes. And Alex, that's probably not your favorite place to hang out. I'm guessing it's your husband's. But, speaking of tools, I mean, you have really assembled, a great platform for you and the way you're able to lead through your industry. Tell us a little bit more about the SPICE program and all of that.
Yeah. So I know for myself, to get to where I am in my life, it definitely is constantly learning and constantly growing. And one thing that I've never been shy about is seeking help and seeking support and knowing I don't have all the answers and I cannot do it on my own. And I'd be such a big fat liar if I said that I got here on my own. And I didn't. And I talked about this on the show I was on the other day. I did not get here alone. And so all of that support. And so I realized I needed support, but I saw so many other of my fellow peers, my classmates, coworkers, all struggling with the same issues, struggling with the same burnout, the same overwhelm, the same physical health ailments. And it's like, just because you're in healthcare does not make you immune to getting sick and having health problems and not paying attention to your health and not listening to your body. And so many coworkers and peers, like I said, going through the same issues. And then as I kind of continued on into my program and in the last 4 years, so really the specialty kind of track that I went into for my doctorate was health systems leadership. So really working with administration, working with leaders, working with the executive team in healthcare organizations to impact care as it goes down the line. And so I still kept seeing the same problems. The same burnout, the same overwhelm, not taking care of yourself, overwhelmed, overstretched, like all those things. And I knew that I had those skills to work through that because I knew I had way more on my plate than any of these other people. And when people would meet me and they would start talking to me very casually, I mean, people would always like spill their guts to me all the time. They'd come and talk to me and I'd like know their whole life story. And I'd literally just met these people. And so they would ask me, well, how do you have time to do all this stuff? How do you have time to go to school and have kids and do your homework and then go do this class and do that? Like, it was always the same question. So I knew that I had a skill in how I managed my time and managed my energy and how I knew that I was worth spending the time on. And so I really started having that all in my brain. And then once I had my youngest son, who's 4, I had a really traumatic birth experience with him. And as a patient in the hospital, kind of being flipped into the reverse role, I had always done ICU nursing, very intensive care, critical care nursing. And then so for me to be a patient in a whole different area, I was treated very badly as a patient. And it was at the hospital I worked at, treated badly, horrible experience for me, horrible experience for my family. And that changed how I returned to the bedside. It changed my entire nursing practice. And it made me think about, how are we looking at the whole person? And so that was another influence I had. And then how I started creating and kind of brainstorming this idea of spice, and really looking at all the parts of my life and where I had been successful and where I had had a lot of achievement, but then areas where I knew that people needed support and needed guidance in those areas. And so that's really how I set about looking at and kind of putting spice together, and realizing that, just spot fixing. And that's what always happened was, in the hospital, you've got 30 minutes to do education with the patient before you send them out into the world. You're not going to fix all their problems. It's like, they're real people with real lives. How are they really going to put this into practice for themselves so that they're not back here with us? And same thing with, people in the boardroom or fellow coworkers. Like, you can't spot fix things. You've got to look at things in a holistic way. Our lives are not one dimensional. We've got lots of elements. We've got all those elements of spice: our spiritual health, our physical health, our insight, our self-leadership, our intuition, our careers. Our career wellness is another thing I speak a lot about, and our emotional wellness. All of those go hand in hand. You can't fix one and not think that there's going to be a problem in another, or see another problem in another area. You have to address all of those. And so creating like that framework and creating a lot of support and accountability around all those areas is really the inspiration, and what spice really does for people. So much support in all those areas.
Yeah.
Amen. Woo.
Yeah. Let's all go whoop, whoop.
You preach it,
Amen to
Doc.
that. What I love is, so you and Yani are on like the same wavelength as far as really trying to support and help people in what you've seen through your own life experiences too, because I love that, you go through a horrible experience and it transforms the way you look at things. And trust me, I've been through, and I'm still going through, one of those horrible circumstances with my beautiful wife on certain things, and how they're actually treated and how people look at it, because they look in healthcare at it as a number and a process, and you're in and out, and boom, you're done in 5 minutes. I'm sorry, it's all over. And Yani, a lot of times, you're so right what you said earlier about how ministry, leadership, to me, marketing and all the stuff I do are just the same thing, because it's all about people. We're talking about people today, helping, guiding, delivering people through this journey we call life. And Yani, you do that such a great way from so many different, from a holistic business view, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really interesting listening through this, because in a lot of ways, Dr. Alex and I are kind of two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take a look, and this is probably one of the biggest problems, is whether we're talking about family, we're talking about ministry, or we're talking about business, or we're talking about the medical world, which I spent a bit of time in on the other side, on the business side. The word that you have to stay away from is institution. And because institution leads to dehumanization. And this is a massive, when you start to look at where leaders make mistakes, and in their family, in their homes, in their jobs, in their businesses, it starts to go to this place. So it's an interesting story. When I was 8th grade, so 90 years ago now, back when Lincoln was president. No, that's even horrible math. I had a teacher, a science teacher, and this teacher, let's just say that the teacher, I think, had lost touch with why he became a teacher. And he had 100-something students. They were all filing through. He's punching his clock, and so almost, my guess is, as his way of connecting or trying to reconnect with these students, he was going to crack a joke, but he was going to do it at someone's expense. And so at that point in my life, to say I was awkward, this standing talking would not be happening. And remember, this is 8th grade. These are formative years. It's a science class, and he's looking for, he said, we're going to grow bacteria in a petri dish. I need a place where I know, we all know, I mean, we're going to swipe bacteria where it is there, and we're going to grow it. And he walks up to me and swabs my face and goes, no place worse than that. And now my wife was a public and private school teacher for 10 years. Every time I tell that story, it's abhorrent to her. She's like, I can't believe that would happen.
Mhm.
But when you institutionalize, you dehumanize.
Right.
And the moment you do that as a leader, whether it's your family, because maybe you have 90 children, I guess 90 is my number of the day.
90s.
Yeah, 90. Next week it'll be 91. Right. When you start to institutionalize and then you start to dehumanize, you make decisions that stop being about people. And that is where leadership moves into dictatorship. That is where leadership starts to hurt and harm people. And so as a leader, if I was talking with a pastor one time about 2 years ago, and he said, we need to hire another pastor to come in and connect with our people. I said, well, why would you need that? He goes, well, we had an outside organization come in and tell us that the staff isn't very connected with our people. I said, okay, so what are you hiring for? Well, we want this person to deeply connect with our people. And I said, oh, got it. So take a group of 5 or 6 people, deeply connect with them, and then replicate himself or herself, showing them how to do this so that kind of ripples out. And he goes, no. I said, okay, you're an organization of 1,100. What are you thinking? He goes, I want this person to be invited to holidays and birthdays. And I said, are you telling me you want one person to connect with 1,100 people in a deep, meaningful way? He goes, you got it. And I'm like, I literally froze. I'm like, this all sounds like English, but I don't know if we're talking the same language. Why? Because no one starts in a nonprofit organization. No one starts thinking I'm going to institutionalize to that level.
Right.
But once you get there, you have to draw back and understand that leadership is about humanity.
Well, that Yani, that is tweetable. When you institutionalize, you dehumanize.
That's why I said it for you. You tweet.
There you go.
Yeah, you got.
I'm sure that is actually already showed up in the comments. I'm sure I typed it in somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll see where that.
Oh, see, Russ stole it from you. Russ stole it.
That's it. Yes. Yeah. No,
That's
I am
leverage. It's all about leverage. See, as an undergraduate student, it's called plagiarism. As a graduate student, it's called research.
Yes,
In business, we call it leverage.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leverage that phrase.
Well, I'm going to jump on this powerful moment, as Susan would say, and I agree 100%, Susan, and that is, now is the time to wrap up the show, because I've already let it go on because I'm enjoying it so much, both of you. But our time is drawing to a close. So first, we're going to have you tell us what you really, really want people to remember from today, because we've covered so much. And then how people get in touch with you. We're going to start with Dr. Alex. Ladies first. You're up.
Thank you. Yeah, this time flew by. Wow. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Yani. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Russ. Thank you. And thank you, everybody watching and all the great comments. It's awesome to get all that support. It's so fantastic. So yeah, I definitely would invite everybody to follow me on LinkedIn. If you're not already connected with me, send me a message. I love making new friends, just like Russ. I love making new friends. So send me a message. And I would love to connect with you. Visit my website, getyourspice.net, to learn more about me and all of my programs that I have going on. And I don't know what my big parting message is for today. I'm just filled with a lot of gratitude and a lot of happiness.
There you go.
That's good.
That's a great parting message.
Yeah.
Yani, you're up.
All right. So you can find us on the web at gratsllc.com. The website is pretty dedicated to the nonprofit world, but we are very busy in both worlds. Probably always will be. Once you get pushed in, you start swimming around. You're like, all right, I'll hang out for a bit. And then you never leave. It's like a black hole. I think so. Gratsinopoulos.com. Again, you can find me LinkedIn. I'll even give you my email address. It's the crazy name, IOANNIS at gratsinopoulos.com. Okay. My parting message for you is this. If you've been listening through this and thinking that doesn't apply to me, get the link and the recording of this and listen to it again, because you've missed the whole thing.
Yes.
Leadership and hard work applies to everybody. If you have a spouse, if you have children, if you actually deal with another human being throughout your day, you are leading. In fact, can I tell you from a personal place, for those of you that drive a vehicle, please lead well. When you are at a stoplight, be prepared. Nothing drives me more batty than the guy in front takes forever, and then I miss the green light. Be a leader in society. Okay, all seriousness though, leadership is for everybody. Like Scott said, it's a tool, but it's like a tape measure. It's like a stirring spoon. It's the one tool you probably can't cook with out or can't build without. And so just stop for a moment, realize that, and start taking steps to grow your leadership.
And I have heard it said that there are two kinds of people in the world: those who are Greek and those who want to be Greek.
I'm both.
Oh, that's so good. Well, listen, we can't even begin to tell you both how much we appreciate you. Scott and I are truly blessed with wonderful people we get to talk to and call friends. And you're both definitely great friends, and appreciate you both so much. So I'm going to say goodbye and send you both to the green room. We'll see you in a few. Bye-bye. All right.
Well,
woo.
What a fabulous time with Dr. Alex and Yani. And I love all the comments, and I'm watching people connect here in the comments,
right,
while being a part of the experience. That does my heart good, Russ.
Well, we can't say it enough, Scott, and that is take advantage in a good way of all the opportunities that are out there for you, including connecting through these kind of mediums, whether you're on screen or not. It's a great place to connect. I cannot even begin to tell you the number of people that I and Scott have connected with just through comments, just through, messages, whatever, and then actually got to know them. So please reach out to the people that you saw today, but mostly don't forget to reach out to Yani and Alex and all that they're doing. Amazing, amazing people. And I don't use that word lightly. I believe we all have amazing in us waiting to jump out, but these two are definitely amazing people. So Scott, we're going to remind everybody again to jump on Christine's show. She's been here throughout the comments. The Aging Better Network coming up at 9 a.m., right?
Yep, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So you'll want to tune in. And every week, it's different aspects of aging. And that's our goal, right? We all want to age better. And so you definitely want to be a part of that. And look forward to her book coming out, or her journal coming out later this year.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, don't forget, if you want to be part of the mastermind, the Experience Live Mastermind, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, coming up here this morning, make sure and go to russhedge.com or dscottsmith.com and sign up for that. Last but not least, don't forget today that I have a noon workshop. It is an amazing workshop because it goes at the heart of all that we've been talking about: connection, community building, and purpose in your life. So go to in the comments was the link. You can look in the link, click on that. It's Successfully Transform Your Business in 3 Simple Steps. Love to have you there today. Dr. Alex will be there. That should be enough to get you there. And My good friend Michael Holt, who's just jumped in, is one of the sponsors today with Lincoln Media Group. Thank you to him. So I want to say hi to Michael. I did say last but not least, but I am going to tell you, I do have a Russ Reels live today at 2:30 today. It's kind of an odd time. 2:30 this afternoon, Russ Reels live with Nancy West, a great author, but also has a great event coming up that we want to tell everybody about. So jump on that today on social media, Russ Reels live. And that, I think, is it, Scott. Today, I'm going to say it right. So great to have you here, everybody. Have a great day and a great life, and enjoy
the experience. Thank you, my friend.
But I can't hit the credits because I wasn't ready. Have a great day and a great life, and enjoy
the experience.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.